desire to waive your right to a preliminary exam?
Yes.
Now to a story you watched unfold live at Mid-MichiganNow.com today. 15-year-old Ethan Crumbley is bound over for circuit court. The alleged Oxford High School shooting suspect appeared via Zoom this morning. He waived his right to a preliminary exam. The Oakland County Prosecutor's Office saying he will have a hearing in circuit court. According to court records, the next court date is January 14th. The suspect faces 24 charges for the alleged shooting at the high school on November 30th. He is being charged as an adult and faces life in prison without the possibility of parole. Right now, he is being held in the Oakland County Jail, isolated from all the other adult inmates. While appearing in court via Zoom for a bond motion reduction, his parents, James and Jennifer Crumbley, their defense asking for a $500,000 bond to be lowered to $100,000 and to be able to wear a GPS tether. Mid-Michigan Now's Courtney Bennett has all the new details we learned today in court.
They are not a flight risk. They were not a flight risk. And we're asking that the court grant our motion to reduce the bond.
James and Jennifer Crumbley were denied a lower bond. The current bond stands according to the judge. During the court hearing today, counsel on behalf of the couple argued the bond should be lowered for their clients. Prosecution says James and Jennifer Crumbley allegedly did not secure their guns in their home.
In Ethan's journal, which was provided in discovery, he explicitly states, and I quote, that he has to find where his dad hid the firearm.
Last month, the Oakland County prosecutor releasing documents related to the alleged shooting at Oxford High School. According to documents, Jennifer Crumbley was having an affair. Ethan Crumbley's dog died and his only friend moved away. And Jennifer and James had spent time with their horses and allegedly left the 15-year-old shooting suspect alone at home.
On more than one occasion, and always when he was home alone, that he thought there was a demon, a ghost, or someone else inside the home. And in May of 2021, he was torturing and killing animals. Not only did he film those actions, but he kept the severed head from a bird that he had tortured and mutilated in a jar in his room for 6 months.
The defense team denying James and Jennifer knew anything about the alleged severed bird head.
His parents were completely unaware that Ethan had engaged in any sort of torturous behavior.
The charges against the Crumbleys were announced December 3rd by Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald. A search for the couple began, even involving U.S. Marshals, because the couple did not appear for their arraignment or turn themselves in. They were found in the early hours of December 4th in a warehouse in Detroit.
Once they were taken into custody, they possessed Jennifer's Social Security card, a dozen or more than a dozen credit cards and gift cards, 4 cell phones, $6,600 in cash. Your Honor, these are not the actions of individuals who wanted to turn themselves in.
The prosecution alleging the Crumbleys were a flight risk then and now, but the defense says that is not the case.
The Crumbleys' address, home address, was listed on the internet. And was also discussed on the record at their arraignment. Prior to being charged and arrested, they had received and been made aware of a plethora of threats to their lives and to their safety, and had to leave their home.
The Crumbleys are being held in Oakland County Jail. The prosecutor's office says more evidence will come on February 8th during the preliminary examination. This is the letter that the county health department provided for the community and also the other day. In this letter, they are saying that the masking was not made optional, although they lifted the mask mandate on December 22nd. They're saying now that they're recommending universal masking for all ages K through 12. Right now, there is no mask policy in place in Genesee County for ages 5 and up. The health department saying that it should be up to the school districts to make that decision. They say that there is enough time for school boards to put a mask mandate in place. With the case rate increasing in Michigan, some schools have opted for virtual learning to contain the spread, and also because staff is getting sick and cannot work.
Will there be a mandate issued for K through 12 settings again?
There's not obviously a statewide mask mandate right now. Governor Whitmer and the team have been fairly clear in recent weeks that the expectation is that this be handled at a local school district level. So right now, we don't know of anything on the horizon coming from the state.
Moments ago, I just heard from the state health department. They tell me that right now there's not a universal mask mandate for K through 12 schools from the state health department, but they are highly recommending masking for all schools. They say that there's over 100 schools throughout the state of Michigan who have a mask mandate in place. I talked to a parent the other day, and they told me that it shouldn't be up to school districts to make that decision. It should be the health department's responsibility.
If you do this like 48 hours after exposure and it's negative, it doesn't tell you squat.
Dr. Bobby McCamala says while the directions instruct people how to use the test, they don't necessarily tell people when to take it. He says when taking an at-home test, people who have been in direct contact with someone with COVID should wait 5 days before taking it or may receive false results.
This detects the virus that's alive in you. It's not like the PCR test that amplifies. This doesn't amplify at all. So you need to have a decent amount of virus in you for this to be positive.
He says after the 5-day waiting period, the tests still aren't 100% accurate and additional testing may be needed.
If it's negative at 5 days out, there's probably a 75-80% chance that it's accurate and you don't have it, but there's still that 20% chance that it's not accurate. So it's useful if you use it right, but it's still not 100%.
Dr. Bobby says a good time to take an at-home test without a waiting period is before visiting family members or going on vacation, all while keeping in mind the 20% chance it may be wrong. The good thing, he says, is all tests, including the at-home test, will detect the Omicron variant.
There is good data to suggest that this will test positive even for that. Right. And, you know, the things that might need to be particular for Omicron aren't the testing, but the treatment. Testing will still detect it.
Dr. Bobby says while tests for COVID are certainly up to par and treatments work, the only way to stop the spread of COVID and any variant is to either get vaccinated or gain herd immunity. He tells me vaccination is much safer and a faster process.